So we're just 1 week away from the reveal of Operation Dread Factor, which is Year 8 Season 2 of Rainbow Six Siege. And up until this point, we've not really known much about the season and the operator. Yes, we've had the main teaser image, but other than that, we've really had nothing. That is until this brand new little teaser video, which is showing some of the changes which will be coming in the new season, has just shown us our first look at the new operator's gadget. As well as this, it seems like it's also revealed what squad this operator is also going to be a part of. However, before we jump straight into this, I do ask if you are new and you haven't subscribed already, be sure to do it, as we are trying to hit 100k, and it really does help, and I appreciate your support. Right, let's take a look at this little clip of the operator's brand new gadget. Now, unfortunately, there is text covering it since it was on like a little advertisement thing, so we do have to kind of look behind the text itself. But what we can see is this gadget, which seems to be deployed on a wall, and it does begin to close. We don't know if it starts open when you deploy it, or this is in reverse, or this is just closing after it's done its thing. But on the inside of it, it does look like it has some sort of skull design. Of course, skulls have been a massive thing in this season, also with Deimos as well. And this operator will have links to Deimos, and that's something that we're going to get into when more lore does come. But it does look like this is sort of like a Wamai disc Melusi Banshee thing on the wall, which opens up, I assume, if an attacker gets in this radius. I assume they're a defender, considering that the last operator was an attacker. Or maybe it acts sort of like a floor edge drone as to when it is bulletproof only when you detonate it. So when this is opened up, it can be shot by the attackers. Again, assuming this is a defender. And then once it closes over, it becomes bulletproof. That all depends on what this gadget is. Is it something that goes through walls? Is it sort of like an advanced proximity alarm? Sort of how Melusi's Banshees are like advanced barbed wire. Could this be like another proximity based gadget? Sort of like Legion, Ella, Thorn. Not really sure what else it could do though, which all these other operators don't. You know, Capcan blows people up, Ella concusses you, Thorn also sort of blows you up in a similar way, Legion puts a goo mine in your foot. So this is like another gadget similar to that. Not really sure what other thing it could do. And something you may have noticed already is that the skull design, which we have been theorizing was going to be the headgear of the new operator, is actually on this gadget itself. You can kind of see it behind the words. And this is like the skull design which was in the teaser trailer. We've seen it in that character's eye. So we're going to assume that the character in the teaser trailer was the new operator and they were looking at their gadget. And as Core Ross did point out as well, this was on Harry's board when he was killed by Deimos. So really interesting. I do still think that the new operator is going to have a skull design headgear or some form of skull theming towards them based off of the teaser where it kind of looks like they are wearing like a mask symbolized with a cracked wall. I do think that is going to play a lot into this, like their operator's identity, their op logo. I know Kavera kind of has like a skull logo, but they can make it very different. And I do just really wonder what this gadget is going to be. We don't really get any sense of scale in this little bit as well, so we don't know if this is like a really small gadget you can throw on a wall like a Wamai disc, or if this is quite a bigger one like a Y8S2 where you place it on a wall, or a Banshee. How it looks to me is kind of like it looks like a little small disc, like sort of Wamai sized. But I would think it'd be quite cool if we could have another gadget like the size of Melusi's Banshees. I think that would be quite an interesting thing. But the next major thing that was kind of shown off in this little advertisement is the fact that this operator is seemingly going to be part of Redhammer. At the end of the trailer, it says Operation Dread Factor, watch the full reveal. It has the dates for the reveal, and in the background, it's got the sort of artwork for Redhammer. Now, I tried looking at this image in the background. I don't see the new ops gadget there. This is a sort of older image which was used before the Year 8 cinematic, so of course the new operator's gadget isn't going to be on that. However, I did assume that they were going to be part of Redhammer because Redhammer is the only squad which hasn't had a new operator yet. Wolfguard got Scent, nighthaven got Grim, ghosteyes got Solace, viperstrike got Brava, and now finally this new operator is going to be part of Redhammer. Now, I guess I should say just because it has Redhammer here doesn't mean the operator is going to be part of Redhammer. It could still be a Redhammer oriented season, but the operator might not be part of any squad. I do think they are going to be part of Redhammer, and that's why they've shown this, but I guess it's not 100% confirmed yet. But they are 99% definitely going to be part of Redhammer. And I guess in terms of what side this operator is going to be on, it's honestly not confirmed, and it could be either side. Many times in the past, Ubisoft have released back-to-back operators on the same side, so like 2 on attack, and then the next 2 seasons were 2 on defense. I guess they kind of do that just so you can't always expect a new attacker or a new defender next season. They want to change it up a little bit. So this next operator could be an attacker. It's most likely that they are going to be a defender from the patterns which they have been going from, but again, nothing is confirmed, and they could be an attacker as well. However, if you're like me, one of the major things you're looking forward to this season is the story implications, all the lore behind it. This is going to be a massive season for lore. We do know from the Commanding Force comics that the new operator does know who Deimos is, probably his identity. I feel like that is something that they're probably going to tell us in the season. I have a feeling that the cinematic for the new season is probably going to take place right after the Commanding Force comic, where of course if you aren't caught up in the lore, I have an entire video covering it. You should 100% check that out. Incredibly helpful video for that. But the latest point of the lore we are in is when we saw Brava introducing this new operator to Thermite and Hibana, who are both 2 squad leaders, and of course Thermite is the leader of Redhammer, so that could explain as to why this new operator is going to be a part of Redhammer. So it is really really interested to see where the story is going to go next. And what I've seen officially on Twitter for some people who have seen the new season, such as some analysts for like R6 Esports who have officially been shown it, they say that it is really cool. So yeah, Redhammer themed season, this new operator and their new gadget, a heap ton of new lore as well. So of course I'm going to be covering all the lore. I really do hope we get a bunch this season. Typically how the lore goes is that we get one with the season cinematic when the season launches. The next piece of lore we usually get is inside the battle pass itself, and then we usually get a comic book around mid-season or just after mid-season, and that usually closes it off for the lore of the seasons. And so to set you up for the new season, here is the comic book which is setting up the brand new Swedish operator which we are going to be getting, and whose new gadget we have just seen, and this will prepare you for Operation Dread Factor, which is looking to be a really great season. So if you haven't read the comic, here it is, and let me know your thoughts and have a great day. So this comic starts with Brava walking into the Hereford Military Hospital in Hereford, United Kingdom, same place where Hereford base is actually located, and we overhear a conversation between Hibana and Thermite. So Hibana says, someone planted intel in Deimos' plane. Thermite responds by saying, what was it? We now take a look into the actual hospital itself, where we can not only see Hibana talking to an injured Thermite who has a walking stick, but we can also see that Ash is in a coma. So the future of Ash, we don't actually know how she's going to make out of this. So continuing Hibana and Thermite's conversation, Hibana says that there was a geolocation for a compound in Brazil, and if there's more intel to gather, that's where it will be. Thermite asks if it can be accessed remotely, and Hibana says no, completely off the grid, and that Brava will lead a reconnaissance operation to find out more. Thermite instantly shuts this down by saying that that son of a bitch put Ash in a coma. He killed Harry. Brava had a line of fire on Deimos and didn't take the shot, and we did actually see that in the Commanding Force cinematic. Hibana responds by saying, I'm aware of what's at stake, Thermite. This is a viperstrike operation. You do not get a say. So a little bit of turmoil between the two captains. Thermite says that new intel says that Deimos is actually getting ready for another strike as they speak, and they need to win here. Then Brava interrupts by saying, then allow me to take the point. Sir, the clock is ticking. I know the area, the people, and how to access the compound unnoticed. With me leading, we save weeks of prep, weeks we don't have. Like you said, now or never. And Thermite, looking quite stressed out, eventually agrees. Hibana says, find us something, Brava, but be careful, this could be a trap. And Thermite finishes off saying, and if you see Deimos, you pull the fucking trigger. And a determined Brava says, yes captain, I won't make the same mistake twice. So now we're actually in Ouro Preto in Brazil, so we actually get a little look at this compound with Brava, Alibi, and Jaeger looking at it from the hill. Jaeger and Brava both make their way closer to the compound, whilst Alibi hangs back with what seems to be a marksman rifle in her hands. It's really cool to see Alibi actually use a weapon that isn't the MX Storm. Alibi gets the call that weapons are free, meaning that she can take the shots. However, she actually gets flanked by one of these unknown enemies who then takes a shot at her head, but it turns out she was actually a Prisma this whole time, and the real Alibi was actually in a different position and takes out this enemy. What an absolute badass. So with the element of surprise gone, Brava and Jaeger are fighting these enemies head on. Brava orders Jaeger to open fire. Both Brava and Jaeger do get pinned down, with Brava saying that they need to get inside the building, but Jaeger is actually worried that more reinforcements are about to come. Brava seemingly makes up her mind, saying if we don't get that intel, more will die by the hand of Deimos. We do whatever it takes. Brava swings a corner, taking out two enemies, whilst other enemies are actually being taken out by both Jaeger and Alibi. Brava swings a corner, again throwing a grenade and then shooting after it, taking out more enemies. However, this leaves her exposed from another enemy with a grenade in his hand. He throws a grenade at Brava, but Jaeger's ADS is there to save the day. And finally, Alibi takes the killing shot on the enemy that threw the grenade. And with this, the enemies are defeated. And I actually think it was really nice to see Alibi and Jaeger's gadget actually used in a real life setting, because we've not really actually seen that before, so it's really cool to see them work in this manner. Alibi and Jaeger are about to enter the building, that is, until what seems to be a rocket launcher actually blows it up. And it seems like Brava and Jaeger were kind of hit by this blast as well. Brava seems defeated when she realizes that the intel has been destroyed in the fire, and that is until she sees the silhouette of someone running into the forest. So Jaeger, Brava, and Alibi get on their feet and chase this person down. This person actually says, you don't want to shoot, trust me. Brava says, give me a good reason, and this person actually says, I don't know how, but they found out you were coming and laced that building with explosives. I blew it up to save your lives. And Brava actually says, well, that's a little convenient. Another option is that you knew what we were after and destroyed our intel. And then this person says, I didn't destroy the intel, I am the intel. I'm the one who planted the geolocation. Brava replies by saying, then why all this? Why not come to us directly? The stranger says, I was stuck. Deimos, he's everywhere. It's a long story. My only option was to get your attention on this compound and hope you'd send a team. I can help you stop him. And in the next page, we actually return to what seems to be an undisclosed base. I'm not sure if this is still the hospital, but it does look somewhere quite different. Could actually be the stadium, because we do know that is a base of operations for Team Rainbow. So Hibana actually looks at Brava and says, did you find something that can help us catch Deimos? And Brava says, not something, someone. And in the final page, Brava says, Hibana, Thermite, meet, and then the comic book ends. So be sure to leave your theories in the comment section below about the brand new Swedish operator. Drop a like on this video if you did enjoy, dislike it if you did not, subscribe if you're new. I shall catch you all later. I love you all. Stay safe. Peace.